Close your eyes. Find out the most comfortable position of the body, preferably sitting. Eyes are gently closed. Looking inside the head or the heart. We will contemplate in the very beginning. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Happiness is a state of consciousness. It is ever present. We can also say it is all pervading. But it is the mind, due to the ignorance, veils this happiness. And then we start searching happiness outside in the world, with objects, with people in relationship. So the mind should assimilate this knowledge that happiness is the essential nature of every being. So we are not at all have any issues with anyone. If we have any issues with anyone, it means mind has taken over. Do you see how the mantra has a deeper meaning? Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. So it is not that we are wishing, we are invoking that peace which is our essential nature and also the essential nature of every being on this earth. That peace is all pervading. Peace consciousness. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. 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 Completeness, sense of completeness is holiness. The Masters declares that we are always whole, complete. To search anything in the world to find the sense of completeness is not our journey. Instead, we need to discover that sense of completeness. And it can happen only when we remove the ignorance. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. We have discussed this couple of times. I believe you can easily reflect upon, become aware of what? That very existence is always with us, for us, to create a favorable state, condition, relations. It is the mind, the way it perceives the world, causes the problem. So we are assimilating the knowledge into the mind that, O mind, be at peace. Discover that auspiciousness in you. The few steps we will prepare and then we will start the practice. That should be done regularly without fail. Many people ask me, I have done this so many times, but no result is there. Pressure of the past impressions is one factor. Pressure is more, and we put the resources that are very less. No, but I have done 5 times. No, the pressure is so much that we need to do 100 times. That aspiration should be present in the mind. Be aware of the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts, feelings, and the experiences. We experience or we know and we become aware of the influx of unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. And these thoughts may or may not be true. So at present, we are simply an observer, watching, observing, knowing the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts at present. We keep a witness attitude. We are doing nothing. We are simply aware. We are also aware of the discomfort or the comfort, the sense of calmness and peace and the pleasure. So when we are an observer, we are not caught in the thoughts. We are not carried away by these unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. Is the most important thing in any meditation. We are watching, discovering, understanding. That is the key. We are settled in the comfort behind and beyond the current state of the mind. You may recall, and we may do it, just look at the head and the neck, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. At the same time, the mind also challenges us, so we become aware of it. The right arm, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. At the same time, we also become aware if there is any discomfort. Just awareness is required. So, the left arm, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. We are just uh, understanding if the mind at this moment is ready to go deeper within, bypasses the discomfort, and there is no reaction as such to any of the experiences at present except the comfort. So that is where I explain the lane one. Unwanted, unwelcome thoughts are coming, but you are in the lane two, and that is an intellect, that is the knower, that is the observer. Are we doing anything? No. Are we doing something for the sake of understanding? Yes. We are following the discernment. Lane 1 separated from the lane 2 in the same mind. And we are aware that we are not lane 1. We are an observer, knower, witness. Result, lane 3. Where is the lane 3? I can say it is a dispassion. You're not at all concerned, carried away by any so-called positive, negative, good and the bad thoughts. They are just an object. As if you are sitting in a living room and there are hundreds of items lying and you are not at all concerned, attached. So everything is there. You're not making any effort to control and to drive the unwanted thoughts away. So that is the way. That is why I use the metaphor lane 1, lane 2, lane 3. And that helps us to be in the state of being carefree. We are still in the preparatory phase, but the preparations are also very important. What will happen that as you continue the journey and the practice, these preparatory steps will take hardly a few minutes. You will discover that it is easy for you to move into the state of comfort, steadiness, without any of these steps, because the mind is inward moving. One of the biggest challenges is that we have a willpower to sit in meditation, but at the same time, the pressure from the past impressions, what we normally say vasanas, are so strong that it crushes our willpower. And when we do the practice for a couple of days every time, those impressions crushes the willpower, and then the mind keeps on repeating, no, I cannot do it, I cannot succeed. So then what is the way? Keep on doing. Never allow the mind to think that you did not succeed. For a longer period, for a longer time, with commitment, without leaving the practice on a single day. And the day comes, those mind gets defeated. So there are some special practices for that, and one of them we are doing today. Let us purify the mind for a while. Look inside the forehead in the space. Pick a point in the space. And start breathing quick and short breath into the chest through the nostrils. Be aware that you are expanding and contracting your rib cage, contraction and squeezing of the rib cage. It's a quick and gentle. You are fully aware of the stillness in the body. You are aware and attentive to the space inside the forehead. What exactly we want to achieve is to keep the mind inside, inward moving. You're aware of chest breathing. You're also aware of the stillness in the body. Continue doing at the same time. You also recognize the resistance, if any, may come sooner or later. Continue. And stop it. You see, the willpower of the mind attached with an I thought or the false I always says, oh, I can do it much more. But then why you are not able to drive away the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts? Why you are not able to keep your mind deeper within for a longer period? So these are the two different aspects. The willpower has an impact. So that is why our masters lays down the emphasis on regularity, commitment, doing the practice for a longer period, at least one practice which engages the mind in the mantra with a form, with a God or within higher consciousness of name and the form. We will take today the higher consciousness with the name and the form is the Shiva. And you have been tuned to this mantra, Om Namah Shivaya. Let's little bit contemplate and reflect on this. But before contemplation and reflection, you are aware of the sensation, relaxation, and stillness in the body. You are in a comfort zone. Mind is looking inside, let's just say inside the forehead, and there is no resistance in being in that state. It happens, obviously. We have already done a few steps of being carefree, comfortable. So it is waiting to do the next step, and that is what the willpower is. We're going deeper to not only understanding what we are doing, but also the journey. Om Namah Shivaya. Now you see that Om is the name of the pure consciousness, absolute consciousness. We understood that our real nature has no name in the form. It is pure consciousness, it is all pervading, it is eternal, it is the truth. And then Shivaya, many meanings of Shivaya. One of them is the auspiciousness. Shiva is also the name of the god with a form. But that we will take up in the next step. So we are combining the two. Why sometimes it is easy for one mind to be with the higher consciousness of the name and the form, and sometimes for other people it is very easy for the higher consciousness without the name and the form. And we will integrate both, but in a different way, to develop emotional connection with both. And then the middle word is Namaha. Many meaning of the Namaha, not me, means in front of, in the presence of that absolute consciousness which is Om and the Shivaya. We are talking the formless God. I do not exist at all. Namah, I'm not. That is one way. And the Namah also means Namaste. Namaste also means that I am you and you are me. But our mind in ignorance does not want to listen. It understands. But how to translate that into practice? Very simple. While saying Om Namah Shivaya, Recognize the Shiva is all pervading, one consciousness like the infinite space, without any shape in the form. So it is all one infinite consciousness, and then see yourself. When you see yourself, in the beginning, we always associate ourselves with the body. So that body may be 1 trillion times smaller, like a dust particle, in the presence of all pervading infinite consciousness. So while saying this mantra, first you say Om, you recognize the interval, Namaha, interval, Shivaya, Om, Namaha, Shivaya. So when you are saying this mantra, your mind recognizes the infinite, unlimitedness of the consciousness, like the space, comparing yourself as if you do not exist at all. It's even smaller than the dust particle. Another way, you're saying Om Namah Shivaya, and that space, that presence of the consciousness is in all directions, in front of you, at the back of you, the right side and the left side. We have to do in the beginning like this. Why? We have to destroy the mind that lives in ignorance. We show to the mind, look at this, why I'm doing Om Namah Shivaya. I can add one more thing. Once you do it regularly, you will be able to pick up all these things together. I cannot express in language at one go, but I'll try so that you get the feel. Om Namah Shivaya. The mind, while saying the mantra, mind goes into the infinite space, then in all directions. Then you offer yourself what you are, what you have and possess belongs to this infinite, formless consciousness which is Shiva. I believe you get it. This is what we say the surrender. Recognition that I have as such no existence of the name in the form, in the presence of the Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. You see, normally the mind projects instantly an image with a name and the form and limited identity. So at present, we are expanding the mind. We are saying the mind that Shiva is limitless, presence in all the directions. So there is no other alternative and option but to offer my whole being, which I recognize as physical, mental, intellectual, to this infinite consciousness. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. If I say so in the background, you see that limitless space or the consciousness. At the same time, you see yourself trillions and trillions times smaller than this infinite space in the consciousness. There comes the recognition that I offer myself to this infinite, formless consciousness, which we say the Ishwar, the inner self. No, I don't recognize the inner self. Yes, it will happen. It cannot be attained by the will. I have already discussed this. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Your tone in the rhythm of saying Om Namah Shivaya may change. Maintain your awareness. That may be one indication either way, going down or going up. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. For the sake of continuing the journey, recognize you are in a state of sensation, relaxation, and stillness of the body. Prevents the mind to go outside. The breath is normal. You're not changing the rate and the rhythm of the breath. You're looking inside the forehead in the space. And with every saying of Om Namah Shivaya, you see how smaller we are, not even 1,000 times smaller than a dust particle in the presence of the infinite space. We are cracking that false eye. It doesn't leave us so easily. And at the same time, there comes a sense of humility. If I am such a small, then let me surrender and recognize this infinite consciousness in me. Why? To find the real self. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Do not think for a while, remain as you are. check the influx of the thoughts are minimized. The involved moving mind is settled deep inside. You are fully conscious. A kind of self-absorption is there. And that is what we've done in the previous step, a kind of self-absorption without any object of name in the form. That is our ultimate goal. But I discussed about it, the will is one thing, and the past impression that pushes, that is reckless during the practice in our behavior and attitude. It causes lot of pain. And we think as if we have returned to the same old person in us. So our next step is with the Shiva, with the name and the form. You have seen the image of the Shiva. So there we crush our ego by physically, we are doing mentally, but with our own image, physically surrendering to the Shiva. Mantra is the same. So look in front. You can see the Shiva in front of you. The human personification of the Shiva. But your mind should see that image of the Shiva is 100 times bigger than you. Visualize, project. So we use the help of the imagination and the visualization. Sometimes people say that it is in primary practice. No. When we have a knowledge supported by the step, it also becomes a very higher step. So you see the image of the Shiva in front of you 100 times bigger, and also sitting in the same pose as you are sitting. Now mentally, as you did mentally the previous step, Om Namah Shivaya. So while saying Namah Shivaya, you're mentally your physical body is prostrating, as if your forehead is touching the big toe of the Shiva, because he is 100 times bigger than you. And as it touches, while saying Om Namah Shivaya, your mind recognizes the image of the Shiva from the toe to the top of the head with love. Oh, I surrender, I offer myself physically, mentally, and emotionally to you. You are my God. That feeling should be there. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. You take your own time. You see what happens? Sometimes the mind is engaged in unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. At the same time, you said Om, and the mind forgets to prostrate. Allow the forehead to touch the toe of the Shiva. So, no way. Om, you wait. Allow the mind to prostrate mentally. And then Namah. Namah is I do not exist. You are 100 times bigger than me. Maybe 1,000 times. Maybe the entire space pervades such a huge image of the Shiva. Unless we do it, we do not undermine our existence. The mind cannot accept what lies behind the mind. And then Shiva, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Tone is the same, but tone sometimes changes because sometimes you have an emotion. Let the emotion flows out of you. Om Sham Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. You are sure, my friend, you are physically, mentally, emotionally merging yourself with that 1,000 times larger image of the Shiva in front of you while saying Om Namah Shivaya. 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 You're doing it mentally. I'm doing it loudly so that you understand. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. You're visualizing. Mind is performing an action of physically prostrating, touching the big toe. Your forehead is touching. What it means? Ego lives there. That ego has nothing, has to do. So I surrender that ego to the toe. Namah, I am not. I see the larger than life image of the Shiva. Why? We all are doing it for the sake of transcending that ego. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Your tone of saying the Om Namah Shivaya also changes, and you can observe, you can remain aware of this so that you can figure out what message it is conveying. Overwhelming pure emotion dissolves the ego. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Now I leave on you. So one time you say Om Namah Shivaya, go to the formless, infinite consciousness. And second time you say Om Namah Shivaya, you go to the Shiva with the form. We want to break that barrier that is present in the mind, that is not present in the Shiva. So alternatively, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. One time with the formless, as we did in one step, at a time with the form, Shiva with the form glowing, that Shiva thousands times bigger than my body. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Alternatively, one time this, one time other. Om Namah Shivaya. Yes, it's about clear that we also recognize the resistance posed by the past impressions that trigger the mind, and we are not able to follow. Even we say Om Namah Shivaya, that needs to be taken care of, my friends. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You can stay in this state as long as possible, or you can bring your mind on the right hand, bring your mind on the left hand, lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the mind, inside the hands, inside the palm. Just say once Om Namah Shivaya and follow the first step of the formula Shiva, and one time Om Namah Shivaya, follow the form Shiva. See what happens. Bring the hands down. Thank you, my friend.